last movie, I explained what styles were and why you want to use them, but I just want to reiterate, just for the record, if you're working on documents longer than a page or two, and you're not using paragraph and character styles, well, I hope you're paid by the hour, because there's no way you can be efficient without using styles. Just no way. Now we're going to talk about paragraph styles. To see the paragraph styles in this document, I click on the Paragraph Styles panel in the doc, and I can see the various paragraph styles that have already been defined in this document. I've assigned styles to most of the text throughout this document, so let's go ahead and just select some of this text, and we'll see that, here we go, the sidebar text has been applied to this paragraph over here. Whatever text you select, it gets highlighted in the Paragraph Styles panel. And it also shows up at the top of the panel, just in case your list is too long to see all your styles. As we learned in the last movie, one of the great benefits of styles is you can easily edit them. So let's go ahead and edit this sidebar text by right-clicking on it and choosing Edit Sidebar Text. If you only have a one-button mouse on the Mac, then you hold down the Control key and click on it, and then choose Edit Sidebar Text, and it brings up this huge dialog box. I'm going to move this over to the side a little bit so we can see the text and the dialog box, and I'll make sure the preview checkbox is turned on, so any changes I make in this dialog box, I'll be able to see immediately without having to click OK. The important thing to remember about paragraph styles is that they include both character and paragraph styles. It's not just paragraph formatting, it's all your character formatting as well. And we've been learning about all of this character and paragraph formatting in previous movies, like font families and size and kerning. All of this stuff can be defined in my paragraph styles. And paragraph styles are different than character styles. In character styles, I could have like blank fields. In paragraph styles, not so much. You have to fill out every single field or else it doesn't work. There's my tab settings and the paragraph rules. Really, everything you could possibly format shows up here. Let's go jump down to character color and change the character color, the fill color, to black. We can immediately see that all the text that's been tagged with that style gets changed. And while I'm at it, why don't I change something else? Maybe give it a drop cap. Why not? I like drop caps. Just a little drop cap, maybe a 2-line drop cap. We can see that it shows up here. And that's it. We're basically done. We've edited our style. I'll click OK. You can see that it's selected here in the panel and it's changed on my page. Let's learn about creating a new paragraph style. This text over here doesn't have any style applied to it, so we're going to create a new one. Create a new one by Option-clicking on the Mac or Alt-clicking on Windows on the New Style button. And you want to use the Option or Alt, or else you get a paragraph style without being able to change its name or its formatting. In this case, we're going to Option-click or again Alt-click on Windows, and that brings up the dialog box, and then we can name it. We're going to call this, let's say, Caption. You can call it anything you want, but we'll call it Caption, and we're done. That's it. That's all you need to do in order to create a new paragraph style. Why? Because, let's move this out of the way, because I had selected some text on my page, all of that text formatting was sucked into this dialog box. The font, the size, and all of that stuff showed up here in the dialog box without me having to go through each one of these panels and set it up. That's really the way you want to create style typically. I'll hit Enter to close that dialog box, and you can see that it's automatically applied here. I'm going to go ahead and apply it to this one, and apply it to this one, and I'm done. Now let's jump to the next page by pressing Shift Page Down. On the next page, we can see that these paragraphs have been set to bullets, and these are numbered. And the problem is if we look at the Paragraph Styles panel, we'll see that the style is body text plus. Body text plus. What is the plus? The plus means that there's overrides. There's additional styling on top of the paragraph style. Well, what additional styling? You can always find out what additional styling by hovering your cursor on top of the style name, and you get a little tooltip that says exactly what those overrides are. In this case, there's an indent, there's a bullet applied to it, and so on and so on. Now what I'd like to do is create a new style that is an actual bullet style that I could use at any time. You know, with one click, apply my bullet. How do I do that? Well, I'll select the text up here, and then Option-click on the button, or Alt-click on Windows, and I'll call it, let's say, bullet style. You can call it anything you want. Now in this case, I'm going to use Based On, and Based On is very important. Based On means start with the body text style, and you can choose any of your paragraph styles in the document, but I'm going to start with the body text style, and then add on the additional formatting. and once again it sucked in all of that additional formatting into the dialog box here. But I could go and change it if I want to. I can always go here and change it, change the horizontal scaling or the indents or whatever I wanted to change. I'm going to go back to the general panel here, and I'm going to make sure the Apply Style to Selection checkbox is turned on. It is. That's a new feature in CS3, and that means as soon as I click OK, it's going to apply that new style, the bullet style, to this paragraph. It won't apply it to these, though, so I better select that text and apply it myself. I'm going to use the Quick Apply to apply this. Quick Apply we learned about in an earlier movie. Command-Enter or Control-Enter on Windows brings up the Quick Apply menu, and then I just have to type a few characters. I just typed BUL and then hit Enter again, and now it's applied the bullet style to these paragraphs. Didn't change the look and feel of it at all. They still look exactly the same, but they're now tagged with that bullet style. And of course, once again, the great thing about that is if I want to change that bullet style, right-click on it, edit it, and I could change, for example, the bullet. Maybe I want to use a different bullet style or apply a different character style to it or something like that. I can do that easily, click OK, and the bullets update automatically throughout the entire document. Another new feature in CS3 is the ability to create style groups or style folders, whatever you want to call them. They call them groups, but to me they're just folders. To create a new group, you simply click on the New Group button, and it makes a little folder down here. You can call this anything you want. If you double-click on it, it brings up a dialog box, and I'll call this, let's say, my headings group. Click OK, and now I can actually drag styles into that group easily enough. Just grab that, I'll grab this, and so on. And you can see that it's just a nice way to organize all of your paragraph styles. That's all it is. It's just for organization. Now, a couple more things about styles that I need to cover. One is, sometimes you want to break the link between paragraph and its style. For example, in this case, I've actually broken the link so there's no style applied to it. Even if I change some style, it's not going to affect this at all. How did I do that? Well, let's go ahead and do it to, how about this text up here? This text has the head reverse style to it. But for whatever reason, I want to break this link so that if I change the head reverse style, it won't change up here on this page at all. To break the link, you simply click inside of a paragraph, go to the flyout menu in the Paragraph Styles panel, choose Break Link to Style. Now, that paragraph has no style attached to it anymore, so it's just local formatting. The whole thing is just local formatting, no attachment to styles. I'm going to go back to page 1 to talk about overrides a little bit more. Shift page up goes back to page 1, and I'm going to select this text down here and zoom in to 200% with Command 2 or Control 2 on Windows. I'll scroll up here so you can see a little bit better. Now, this text, this whole paragraph, no matter where I click it, look in the panel over here, there's a plus sign. There's local formatting here and there and everywhere. Well, there's local formatting down here, but that's kind of obvious. There's italic style applied to it. But what about this other stuff? Well, let's see. Let's hover over here and we can see that, the size has changed. So I want to remove the local formatting from this whole paragraph, but I want to leave the italic formatting here, right? I don't want to get rid of that. So how do I do that? If I simply click Remove Overrides, it'll remove all the overrides from the entire paragraph. Another way to do that, let me undo this for a moment, Command-Z or Control-Z on Windows. Another way to do it is to Alt-click or Option-click on the style. That does basically the same thing. It removes all your local override from the entire paragraph. Right? So once again, I'm going to undo that, Command-Z or Control-Z on Windows, because I don't want to undo all of it. I still want my italics. How do I retain the italic but get rid of this? Well, I need a character style. We learned about character styles in the last movie. I'm going to select my text. I'll go to my character style panel, and I'm going to create a new character style called italic. Option-click on the button, call it italic, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to change the style to italic. Don't want this 13 points in there. That's the local formatting that picked up from the selection I had, so I'll delete that. So all this character style is going to do is assign the italic style. Click OK. Click on the italic style to apply it right there. So now I've got a character style formatting this text, but no character style formatting this text out here. So if I go back to paragraph styles and I click on remove overrides, what do we get? It removes all the local overrides but leaves the character styling. That's a very important detail about clearing overrides feature. You can make it remove all your character styles if you want to, but by default it won't. If you really want to remove all the local formatting, including character styles, then you want to Option-Shift-Click on the style name, or Alt-Shift-Click on Windows, and that will remove everything, even the character styles.